for Hopping by Meaning Fueled, where we take your problems of practice, your pops, and have a meaning fueled discussion about where they come from and where do we hop along from there.
We are four longtime educators bringing our diverse experiences to the table.
We're harnessing all the energy of popping into your teacher bestie's classroom and bringing it straight to your ears.
Let's get poppin' with today's problem of practice. It was a hot day outside, and given that my room is on the third floor, I decided to wear a dress to be comfortable in my 80-degree classroom. As I was walking down the hall, another teacher said, "Wow, I love your dress. You look so professional today." Well, I love a compliment. The backhanded comment on what I was wearing today had everything to do with what I normally wear. So,
I'm sure you looked dashing.
No, thank you.
Better than today? I don't know.
So we have to acknowledge our outfits today. We came dressed for work. Joe's a frog, if you couldn't tell by the intro here. Sarah's a kangaroo and has a Joey.
Yeah, it's a little Joey in my pocket.
And Erin's a dragon.
Or a dinosaur.
Or a dinosaur.
And an alchemist dragon.
Or, that head kind of looks like one of them pigs from Angry Birds.
Like a rainbow pig.
And I am Mike Wazowski. So teacher dress code, if you couldn't tell what we were talking about today, comes up everywhere. So what is the proper teacher dress code, and should schools dictate on what teachers wear?
Well, before we launch into all of that, I'd just like to state for the record that I did meet a principal who was starting at our school in this exact onesie.
Wow.
She sure did.
My class had earned a PJ day, so obviously I was in my PJs, and I was like, "Hello, I am the third grade teacher here. Nice to meet you."
It was so funny.
Ridiculous.
It was so funny. Hurry
But
up.
whatever, it's who I am, you know? But I think this is a big topic of conversation because there are a lot of outside perspectives giving their input on what professional means for educators. And some people believe that that means business professional. You need to wear heels and skirts and slacks and blouses.
What a funny word.
But is that really the practical thing when you are an elementary school teacher with little kiddos
I
running
don't know
amok?
how I could walk in heels all day long.
It's
Me
a
neither.
talent.
Definitely used to. I mean, back in the day it was. It was when I first started, it was definitely people dressed to the nines.
The
It
school
was
we
heels
worked
for
at
days.
together.
It was. And it was, people wore literal heels.
That's
I
awful.
even had, you could hear, and it wasn't just short people, thank you. There was everyone wearing heels, but you could literally hear people clomping down the hall.
Click, clack, click, clack.
And then for those
God.
people who didn't wear heels, it was very professional dress. It was dress shoes, it was dress slacks, it was button downs, it was all the jazz, ties, bow ties.
Oh yeah.
Every variation.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was a younger teacher, it felt like I was 22, right?
Oh, baby teacher.
And so I felt like, well, I'm gonna wear, fancier clothes.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of
I need to look the part.
I need to
here.
look the part.
I need
and-
adults to think I'm an adult.
Yeah. So I feel like when I was younger, I was more formally dressed. I mean, when I was student teaching, my gosh, I wore a freaking tie every day.
Yes.
But
Hire me.
even my first few years in the classroom, I feel like it was a button down, and khakis, pretty consistently.
I remember having to go with you to find the best shoe that was comfortable and that you could kneel down and get scuffed, but it wouldn't really scuff, and you would.
They all scuffed off, all of them, and
And you tried.
I
You
tried.
really put in the effort.
And I moved into one room that had indoor-outdoor carpet on the floor, and that really just ate the tops of my shoes off because you're constantly kneeling down next to kids. But anyway, I feel as I got older, I just became less and less formal. It didn't really have to do with the culture of the school per se. It was more just me feeling I didn't have to dress a part, that I could just dress for my job, not dress for.
And let me tell you, it's hard. I don't know. We talked about flexibles, you have seat crates, you have other stuff. It is really hard in a dress and heels to get down on the floor at the kids'
Oh
level.
my God.
And then even our principal dressed like even more to the nines than the staff
Oh my
did.
God.
Like she had like full Chanel like
Yep.
up there
Oh, she has
dresses.
to,
She had, like,
the
design-
principal
But that's the thing,
is-
the principal
always
that's
has to
the
be a little bit
precedence.
more,
Uh-huh.
right?
Sure.
Right. So if that's the level she went to it,
I could-
and
right.
I still
Yeah.
remember her sitting with a girl who like had trouble coming in the room, and she walked her in, and then she like sat next to her, and in this pencil skirt like tight. It was really
How?
hard. Right. It was really hard for
Took her
her
a
to
couple
do
minutes.
it.
I almost couldn't get out of a chair in kindergarten today, so
The worst.
it was
Chairs in
like
kindergarten.
it
You're
was
like, oh,
lower
so-
than the
so far
lowest
down.
kindergarten chair, and somehow
It's basically the floor.
the one that
Right.
like I ended up in, and then I also stood up and I looked at said chair, and there were like definitely smeared boogers on it,
Yeah.
which
Kindergarten.
again is this. Kind of reiterating the point of why I am not wearing my Sunday's best
Right.
when going into said
Well, that's the
kindergarten
thing.
classroom.
You wear this nice stuff, and then it was like Tide pens galore. I feel like I had 1,800 things to like
Well, it's 'cause
get
you get-
stains out.
Yeah,
like,
you just had an expo marker just everywhere.
Oh yes,
Expo
there are extra
marker
markers
dust
on everything.
Always.
over
So,
always.
The year that this happened to me in the pop, the year that this happened to me, I had a student that eloped all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I also had a student that had an emotional, regulation trouble, and there was one day he threw a Gatorade, a red Gatorade, at me.
Oh, fun.
Fortunately, didn't get on me. Is still stained on my rug at school. And then again, I can't run in heels. So if you're eloping or if I'm racing you to get back in the building because that's what worked, I can't do that in heels. I was in jeans and a t-shirt every day.
And
So
I still
that's-
remember like kids at recess. If you were in jeans and a t-shirt, like kids noticed.
Oh yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you're like more fun now.
You can come
'Cause
play
you,
with
like,
us.
come play with us
Yep.
and do stuff." And you were like, "Yeah, I just was wearing nice clothes before it
Yeah,
was a lot harder
ironically,
to do."
I remember my first year, we had our first field trip. And we were going, it's like an outdoor living history museum. So I was dressed in like jeans and a t-shirt, but it was the first time these kids had like ever seen me not wearing my teacher costume. And I'm standing there, and this one kid walks up to me and goes, "You look like a high schooler." I had like my backpack on, it was like field
you're, like,
trip,
on
going
the
on the
ready.
bus, like, and I was like, fair.
Yeah.
I don't even have a comeback to that.
So my favorite was when I was on the crisis team for my school and was trained in all like the de-escalation, but like then also like the holds and stuff. And I happened to be in a dress one day, and a kid just like crawled underneath my dress. I was like, "You're done. You're done wearing dresses. You're done with them."
Goodbye, it's a tent.
Uh-oh.
I can hide now.
Well, then we think about like I remember that there was a student teacher for one of the like wellness teachers or PE teachers, and they came dressed up to the nines because like you're
For
the intern,
PE?
but for PE, and you're like that's not.
That
He's like
doesn't
you're
match.
gonna
I
be
feel like they
throwing-
always got the pass, even
Right.
when the school was
did.
formal. It
They
was like
should because they're throwing. They're
In the
throwing
90s,
things
they
at
were
kids
always
that, like,
wearing
always
those,
go through, like,
the swishy pants.
Yeah.
All the tracksuits.
Yeah.
All the tracksuit
Got
pants.
stuff.
Well, and like think about the art teacher that like
You
will
got paint
Oh my
everywhere.
God.
You have, like
Yeah.
I,
oil pastels, clay, like you've got all of it. So we had a principal one time of my many principals that I've had in 9 years. On his like first day of school presentation to all the teachers, he was like, "What is the teacher dress code?" And an old biddy, Joe, told him in our staff meeting that we only wear jeans on Fridays. And the entire rest of the staff was like, "No, absolutely not.
No, that may be
No.
100 years ago.
Yeah, but again,
Maybe
like,
she does.
and she did. But again, it's changed. Like, it's changed the culture of like what.
I still kind of follow that though. Like, I still tend to dress
Are you
like
an old biddy?
I may be. I still like save my jeans for Friday. Like, I tend to be a little more dressed down
Okay.
on Friday
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
other days of the week.
You guys are also in different roles.
Yes.
Did you do this as a classroom teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Like
mean,
I wouldn't wear like a hoodie, even like a school
right,
hoodie.
like a school hoodie is like Friday's outfit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
oh yeah, no, I bought up all the swag I could.
Yeah, same.
Decide on my
Exactly.
teacher- So I went from fancy teacher dress code to like, oh, we're allowed to wear school swag. I will buy all of the sweatshirts,
5, so you have
t-shirts
one.
possible. Like I literally was like, oh, I could go a whole like 2 weeks and just have teacher swag.
Well, I feel like when I was like really trying to dip into the casual, I was also like, right, how can I, like, if I don't have enough school swag,
Right.
I'm gonna buy curriculum themed t-shirts,
Yes.
right? So it was like,
And you did.
well, I did. I leaned in hard. It was like, well, I'm wearing this because we're learning about, the revolution today. So I've got my,
Revolutionary War
War flag
Of
on the
course.
t-shirt, or the science, experiment. And people who watch our podcast, they actually get to see, I think, a fair share of the collection.
If you haven't noticed, we have been wearing them every week. Now you can go back and look.
Curriculum-themed t-shirts.
Right, because it just, it fits the vibe.
Yes.
Listen, it also
They
helps.
are the
I don't
vibe.
know. Maybe it's just because I'm in a middle school, but like wearing funny shirts or wearing things that make jokes, or like I have one that says "haha, I made you read." Like I just things like that. It makes kids smile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get a smile out of them. It's related to what they're doing. It feels a lot more comfortable than any other dress that you could. Maybe besides our onesies, but
Yeah, this is so comfortable.
But I do feel like
Really
it's
love it.
changed. Some of the newer teachers coming in, I will be real, there are moments now in my role going into rooms, like, and if they're at tables with kids or somewhere else, some of them I'm like, oh my god, where's the teacher?
Oh,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then that's the moment where you're like, ooh, should there be something different? Because like now we do look like students.
Mhm.
So
There's definitely a line between comfortable, professional, what people used to do, what people are doing now. Is there research on this? Which I didn't think there was going to be
To like support a certain
to
dress
support
code.
this.
All right.
But I didn't know that there was going to be. But Erin,
a little bit. I mean, it's more like the psychology behind it rather than like specific like teacher dress codes. It's more broader. It's more like the halo effect. So in like educational psychology, it's the perception that like your one trait, so like your appearance,
Okay.
could spill over into perceptions of other traits, like your
Yeah.
expertise or your credibility or whether or not you're good. Now that's for other staff and that's also for students. So it's really that like if you dress down, will students perceive you to be less of an expert in what you are teaching or your craft? Which I think really depends on, sure, people might dress up more the first couple days of school because that is kids' first impressions of you, I guess. I don't know. It's
I don't know,
a really
like,
tough one.
If like I'm thinking about like if you were to like put a guy in a t-shirt and jeans in front of me and a guy who looks like a scientist and you say, who do you want to learn physics from?
Right.
I'm gonna pick the guy in the lab coat who looks like a scientist, right? And I could find out that he,
Just dressed up as a scientist.
just is a guy dressed up
Right.
as science for Halloween, and the other guy, is a PhD at Harvard.
Right.
But just from looking at it, right? I think, some societal, right, like norms of how we're wired.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess I wholeheartedly believe that because I feel like I would act on that in
Well, but
the society.
here's the hard part, right? Is that there's like implicit rules in most jobs as to like what professional, quote unquote, attire entails. So there's like a standardized professional look. So there could be like scrubs is what you associate with doctors, like lab
Right,
coats
yeah.
with scientists, like you could have like a uniform for an athlete, right?
Oh wait, I know what the
Or-
teacher look is.
That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
denim dress.
Jean jackets.
Yeah, it's like
or a denim vest.
or
Like,
Can you,
it's-
let's
Jean
pause.
jackets.
Ladies,
Jean
how many
jackets.
denim dresses?
No, I'm telling you,
Not-
like it's on every '80s like
Oh.
looking teacher
Oh.
thing.
Yes,
I
like,
understand now.
It's like, or maybe it's just not denim, but it's usually dark blue.
It's like jean. It looks like jean.
Jean-ish,
it's not jean.
and it's like a square
Yeah.
topped dress.
I know what you're talking
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah,
like
it
it's
has
like
like
this.
buttons on it.
It's like
for
yes,
them.
and
Or a
buttons.
little patch like
Yes.
an apple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
brain's like modern. It's just the
No,
jean
I
jacket.
understand what you're
Like,
talking about. I was like, I don't want to
That is
dress,
like
I dare.
that is what elementary teachers wear,
No.
No.
including me. As a
Well,
male.
you wear your denim dress, Joe.
Sure.
I mean, I think, there's like Erin was saying about scrubs and things like that as a nurse, a doctor, a PA, someone in the healthcare profession. You have to like dress for the profession that you have and that you are in. So like an electrician is probably going to wear like boots and a hard hat and things like that. But when I go back to thinking about my student that needed me to run down the hallway with him or outside with him, I'm going to wear sneakers because I can't run in heels.
Right.
So it kind of like there's this line of like how do you dress to complete your job. Now, listen, we did dirt in class last week with mud and things.
Right.
And again, I'm not going to wear something that's going to get messy and ruined on the day that I'm using dirt.
And
So-
you shouldn't feel ashamed about that.
No,
I think that's
right.
what really bothers me is that like it'll be like back to school night or whatever, and like everyone has to like bring a freaking change of clothes and like run into the bath. I think we even said that when we did the
Yeah.
episode,
Yeah, we
right?
did.
And put on their fit like that's not real. Like I was playing with dirt, teaching your kids about erosion today. Like
Right.
that's what
But
we
now I
did
have
here.
my-
I also don't want
Right.
your
Right.
kids wearing their
Because-
nicest clothes. Like I
No,
don't want
right.
kids
Please
wearing
don't.
it because
I don't
that's
think
going
we
to
need
get
to worry
ruined.
about that, everybody.
Well,
Kids
but
come
that's,
in sweats.
so here's the hard part, right? Is that's part of this. Is that part of this research is like you can't really dictate what go right in schools. Most of the modern
Well, unless
schools,
you're going
you're
to
not
private school
always-
with a uniform.
yes, but if you're not in school with a uniform, most of the time, like public schools, you're not dictating what kids can police kids about what they can put on their body and what they can't, right? Like there are some lines of that, but it's like there's not really that for teachers besides like Jean Friday, right?
No,
Like,
I've never really seen in like a contract either, like
No.
an explicit dress code for staff.
At least for
I'm trying to like
public school.
Not in any of the ones I've followed.
No, like
Not
we kind
in
of dress
any
code for
I've-
camp, but that's different. Like,
yeah, and
a
I wonder.
uniform for camp.
And
I'm
I've never
almost-
seen a teacher, well, I've, not that it hasn't happened, but I haven't seen a teacher get called in for inappropriate dress.
No,
I'm thinking.
I don't
Which
know.
is hard because if it's
Not
not in
that
the
I've heard
contract, then
of.
it's hard to be a contract violation.
right.
Right.
I mean, I have seen a teacher like bend over and saw her full ass come out, but like that's.
I mean, yeah,
It's just-
I've definitely
Well, I've
seen.
seen my share. I've seen people get in trouble for it.
I feel like I've definitely seen. Like yes, times have changed. Like I even think.
As they should have. When I need to
yeah.
get on the floor and
I-
like, talk to a kid,
Right.
and I need to like.
Well, and I even think in the business world, right? It used to be like,
Oh, I guess
you
that's
can't
true.
go to lunch without your suit jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's not like my brother's a lawyer. Like that's, I mean, he still wears suits, but like it's not quite as rigid.
I'll
and,
give you a good example
you
of that.
know-
My dad works in a bank. He used to wear suits every day. He doesn't now. It's
Right.
business
Yeah.
casual now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
there you
like I think in general like society is eased on the formality, and I think that's good, right? Everyone should
For
be
the most
comfortable.
part.
But like with that, then like the lower end also shifted.
Yeah.
And so, right, if the lower end before was like jeans and t-shirts, now I feel like the lower end is like
Sweatpants.
Actual
sweatpants
sweats.
or like stuff you would literally like go to sleep in or like,
Yeah.
and again, I want to just be clear, like we are not talking about situations where people do not have the financial means
Right.
or
No.
anything like that, like, but we're talking about where it's sort of an active choice, to not really dress for the day, for your job, where you look like you're more ready to be heading out to, your morning run than you do look like you're, moving into your classroom. I do think there's a line there that has shifted maybe a little too far.
Yeah. So I guess
I
that.
think there are some lines too. Sorry, there
No,
are
you're
some
right.
lines with like rules. Like we can't have like kids can't have hats, but like I've seen teachers wear hats. Do you know what I mean? Like you're breaking
That
an
one is
active
laxed
rule
a
that,
lot.
like,
The hat.
But I think there's more hats allowed than ever. When we were kids,
It's true.
I feel
Well,
like
we were kids. It
never.
was like absolutely.
I
not.
also
But-
feel like I got yelled at a lot in high school because I loved a hoodie. I still
Yeah.
do. Love.
Oh.
I love a hoodie, and I'd always have my hood on. I think it's just very cozy and comfortable to have a hood on. But I would always get yelled at that it has to come off, and
Yeah.
like kids.
And I
walk
think
around in
that's
their
where it
hoodies all the time
shifted in the
now.
right way. It's like a
Right.
kid can still pay attention to me if they're
Right.
wearing a hat or if they have their hood on.
Yeah.
If they have it over their eyes and they're not looking at me, that's the same as if they had their hands in front of their face. I'm going to tell them to take
Different
their
ball
hands
game.
in front of
Yep,
off their
yep.
face. Like, I think, right, like the idea that it's the hat or the hood is not the issue. Like, it could be the behavior that's an issue.
Right.
So, like, I'm glad that's laxed a little bit. But again, I tend to think
But then a
there's.
teacher for a hat or a hood. Different
Well,
story.
I do in general. If like there's a rule for kids, if there's no
Right.
hat or hoods, teachers shouldn't break it. I
Right.
think that's a bad precedent.
I do too.
And to some extent, right, the more teachers dress down, the more students dress down. And again, like at some point, like school is, people debate this all the time, whether we should use the analogy that like school is kids' job.
Right.
And there's a lot of nuances to that debate, but in some ways it is them like stepping out in public in a job-like setting, and if the role of a school ultimately is to prepare you for, you know, the real world, and even if you are, you know, in a more blue-collar job, right, there's still a professional and expected way to show up for that job. And so, and it's not your pajamas, right?
Right.
And
And
it's not like holes in your shirt.
right, but again, you have the means not to. So, you know, I do think that we should have some line.
So I guess
That's
that goes
fair.
into like, what's our perfect dress code? And like, where do we stand? We started it, but like, where do we stand? What's the perfect dress code for where you are right now?
The perfect dress code
Oh boy.
for
This frog costume.
yes, I mean obviously. I'm just gonna say for me, okay?
Okay.
You know, for me, it's just like, you know, what is it in the perfect date is like March,
April,
April,
3rd or whatever.
April,
Yeah.
Miss Congeniality.
Oh.
I'm thinking of that. The perfect date is, well, the perfect
Maybe it's
outfit.
April 25th.
First of all, I'm gonna start with my slacks, as Sarah would call them.
slacks.
They need to be Lee, specifically
Oh, boy.
Lee Comfort Extreme Stretch pants. They come in pants and shorts.
Oh, thank
So
goodness.
when
In all
it's,
the colors.
when it's 80 degrees, they work.
We have versatility.
They're like khakis, you know, or gray, or, you know, like, but they're thicker, which is important. You don't want those like thin, again, like in a classroom, like, you know, pleated thin pants. That doesn't work.
They're going rip.
So they're like thicker, you know, they're cargo-esque without cargo pockets.
Ooh.
I used to have some from Old Navy, and then the quality of Old Navy went so far down that...
I feel like it's coming back up though.
Is it?
Once you
I,
see
and
the
I
guys
haven't
say-
been. I'm pretty committed to these. I got them at Kohl's, and I get Kohl's cash.
Kohl's can.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like Kohl's or not these days.
Ew.
But anyway, that has to be the pant. And I would follow that up with a quarter zip. And I want to just say for all of those people getting on the quarter zip bandwagon out there, or maybe that fad is already past.
No one knows.
Quarter
None
zip
of us
Fridays.
know.
But I've
Middle
been on
schoolers are
quarter
still doing
zips
it, so.
for
Ever.
forever. I think they're the perfect, comfortable, yet slightly formal look to complement your Lee pants.
They're dressy cash, if
They're
you will.
dressy cash. And then, you know, when you get out of quarter zip season, just a nice polo shirt. I think really, you know, really does it.
But you also have to make sure you mix in the curriculum themed tees.
And the curriculum themed tees, you know, as needed.
And what do
As
you wear on
needed.
your feet?
So what I do is I search for like the fanciest looking pair of sneakers.
Yes.
So like
Love.
right now, I've been sporting some Nike Dunks.
Love.
Last season. This is like our tradition now. Last season, I debuted in some corduroy. They're like blue corduroy and like a plaid
Yeah, those are cool.
looking Dunks.
Oh.
So kind of cool. And then this year, I went with a brown and black leather look. So they're like sneakers, but formal
Okay.
esque.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
No Kohl's cash for them.
No. Doesn't count. I'm gonna say like I have diverged from the dresses and the heels and all of that, mainly just because again, like I would rather want to be able to kneel down and talk to a kid or get on the floor with a kid, all that jazz. I do love a good jean jacket.
You
Do
love
you?
a jean
She
jacket.
loves a jean jacket,
Jean
everybody.
jacket.
Shock.
Well, I can
Shock
put on
about
my
the delusion.
curriculum themed T-shirt, which I will say.
And you just dress it up.
Yeah, with a jean jacket.
It makes it. It's like your slap. Like it looks.
It's like your
It
slacks.
looks a little fancier. But I will say the curriculum theme shirts. I have made a lot of connections with kids. Of like now that I'm in a reading role, all of mine are like reading related. I still have some good science ones I'll wear sometimes. But it is like, you know, like the Make It Rain shirt. Puns.
I love
but
that
like,
one.
But it is fun, and it gets kids to laugh. It gets kids to pay attention. It's all like
Everyone loves a
academically.
good dad joke.
Right. Everybody loves a good dad joke. They're all academically related. I will say I do enjoy wearing spirit gear. unfortunately don't like paying for all of it, but worth it to pay for it because it does make the kids feel like you do have the name of your school,
I think it
the brand, the
spreads
logo on it,
community,
and it does
for
kind
sure.
of have like.
Oh, you mean like school swag?
No, I mean like
School
school
spirit,
swag.
yeah.
Okay, because I thought
Yeah.
you meant like, oh, it's a spirit dress-up day.
Also that, which
And
I'll say like
I was
staff
like,
participate in more than middle schoolers.
You
do
have
because-
to, because I bought this bad boy for $25. I don't know, 10 years ago. I swear to God, I've worn it at least 25 times.
Oh, the onesies definitely are there.
So you get them for pajama day, but then you can also get them for like other
Yeah, well, dress-up day.
Yeah,
days.
book
Double
character
whammy.
day, whatever you may need that
That's
for.
right.
You'll make it fit.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Working with elementary school kids, I do have my themed shirts, but I also can get away with just like having a cartoon character on my shirt because they're like, oh my god, I love Bluey, or oh my god, like,
Oh, right, you're making connections.
exactly, or I love K-pop demon hunters.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Did you get a shirt at Kohl's?
No. I mean, Jill, can I use your
usually
Kohl's cash? But listen, we're on the floor. You know, we have spills that happen. We deal with kids sneezing on us and coughing
Oh, I got
on
sneezed
us.
on today.
Yeah, exactly. So like sometimes I'm running around. I need to be able to like have the proper attire to do all these things, and so like, and I'm on my feet all day. Heels won't be happening. Dr. Scholl's, if you would like to sponsor us, because
You're a fan?
by you.
Brianna loves.
I love my Dr. Scholl's. They literally, I have the sneakers, but I also found out they make boots that come up to my knees, like regular, like cute boots, but they're Dr. Scholl's, so they're comfortable. That's the only thing I buy now and I wear.
Wow. Tell us you're old without telling us you're old.
Listen,
we tell
I'm
you
younger than all of you, so.
my
Ah.
Honestly, I hate this question because I like don't have one. I just kind of like go with vibes on that day, and honestly, the
I feel
temperature.
like you still like I still catch you in some fancier outfits.
And you will.
When your vibe is vibing.
When my
that
vibe
way.
is that, that's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing leggings, I'm wearing jeans, I'm wearing dress pants, I'm wearing skirts, I'm wearing dresses, I'm wearing teacher t-shirts, sweatshirts, spirit gear, cardigans,
Taylor Swift.
blouse. It does.
You also match your
My
sneakers.
Taylor Swift cardigans.
She
They're
matches her
coming out.
sneakers to
Like,
her outfit. Makes me happy.
yeah, I have multiple nice sneakers.
You have a lot
this
of nice
season.
sneakers.
I love them. Not as
Beyonce
many.
got you even more.
That's true. He's good at gift giving. But anyways, really, it's as long as it's comfortable, clean, gonna keep me warm enough or cool enough, given the temperature.
Well, that's a different.
Oh, I know. We haven't even talked about that. People have like their classroom cloaks and their.
That blanket is necessary.
Right.
It's
I also have a
freezing.
blanket.
Yeah.
I also have a blanket.
You know,
at
Just
home.
some of
takes-
us don't have
It is
air
a blanket shawl. It is
Right.
necessary.
No, I mean like
100%.
schools. People again may not know this. Like
Come and visit.
unlike most workplaces, schools do not have temperature control that
No,
it works.
It does not work.
No.
And it's freezing or it's sweltering.
Yep.
So as long as it's all of those things, I feel good about wearing it to school. As long as I could like stand in front of a parent, a principal, a curriculum director, or whomever, and be like, "This is what I'm wearing today." Yes, hello. I'm fine, and I did it in this, so
Right. And I think you justify it. I can't tell you how many parent IEP meetings I have sat in and
Oh
been
my
like,
God.
oh, I'm so sorry, I'm here today as Superman. I am dressed up, my cloak is literally on, I literally have a cape. Yes, I do. Yes, it sparkles.
I was
Thank
in back to
you.
back IEP meetings as Miss Frizzle. I was like, you know what?
You know
This
what?
is what
This
it
is
is.
where but it shows I care. I'm
Yes.
dedicated to my school.
Yes.
I'm dressed as I need to be. Like, and I understand if I'm giving if I'm giving a professional development, if I am really presenting to people who maybe that's not the spirit day of that, but I don't know, we have teachers come from the other school, they do onesie Wednesdays, and some of the teachers come
Every
to the
Wednesday?
PD on Wednesday half days too. Yeah, every Wednesday they do onesie
Love.
Wednesday. But when we have half day
Should get that
PDs,
started.
they come and some of them still have their onesies on. And I don't think their inability to become a professional because they're wearing a onesie.
And also, nobody's batting an eye because we're all in the same boat. We had one year that we had conferences like on Wednesdays in March. It was a half day, and we also had a spirit day every week in March on a Wednesday.
For Read Across America month.
It was great. So like book character day was at the end of the month. We had
Yep.
sports gear day. We had
Yep.
pajama day. We had all these things, right? Wacky socks day, whatever. So people complained. Teachers complained because they didn't want to have the Spirit Day on the Wednesday when you were going to be in front of parents
Yeah,
for
that's
conferences.
ridiculous.
And I
If parents-
also thought it was
if parents
ridiculous.
can't accept that, then
Right. I thought it was ridiculous.
Right, it wasn't like teachers only dress up days. It was like school wide dress up
Right,
days.
they
Like,
knew about
kids
it.
should have like been dressed up too. It never.
It was
sat
that
with me.
old biddy
Yeah.
who was
Yeah.
complaining the most, I will
Listen.
say.
and you know.
But things have changed. Things have changed. Culture has changed. Yeah.
And yet, if I were to walk in and it's not a Spirit Day, and you
You're
know,
in pajamas.
right, I'm meeting with my kid's teacher, and they look, you know,
Yeah.
disheveled. I would feel a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like your research says, I might make some assumptions whether
About
they're
their
fair
ability.
or not.
Right.
And so, in some ways, like it's like you owe it to yourself
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, dress comfortably, professionally enough, because teachers are tremendously hardworking. They are tremendously skilled, you know, and we shouldn't, you know, allow ourselves to be. People look down on our profession enough,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
we don't want to. Wouldn't want anyone to do, you know, someone any favors in besmirching us any further. You know what I mean?
But we also get to have fun.
That's right.
And, you know, if that means dressing up in a Mike Wazowski onesie because it's, you know, onesie Wednesday, then I'm going to do that.
Ribbit.
Even if your kangaroo has floppy ears and they shouldn't.
And you have a baby, too. You have a little
Little
baby
baby.
Joey. It's fun, people. It's fun.
Okay.
Right. Well, thank you for popping by Meaningfield today. Remember, we're here for you anytime. Our door is always open. You can visit our website at getmeaningfield.com for ideas and inspiration to bring to your classroom.
Follow us at Get Meaningfield on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Skies, and Threads, and just Meaningfield on Facebook.
You can share your own thoughts on this week's pop. Particularly, I'd love to hear from people who teach in schools with like uniforms
Harsher
and
dress
dress
codes.
codes, and like if those schools actually have a teacher dress code because they have a kid uniform. I'd love to hear from you. So please comment on any of our posts this week, or find the full-length episode over on YouTube.
And you can always send us your own pops for us to discuss with a DM or at getmeaningfueled@gmail.com.